Hello guys, good evening all of you.
Good evening, sir.
Okay, today we will do few problems calculation of hybridization. Nine 9.5 exercise question it is. Explain on the basis of VBT. Explain on the basis of VBT that NiCN4 2 minus ion with a square planar structure is diamagnetic and the NiCl4 2 minus NiCl4 minus ion with tetrahedral geometry is paramagnetic. So here you have to find out what is its hybridization and how it is paramagnetic or the other complex is diamagnetic. You have to prove. Okay. Take first complex NiCN4 2 minus and find out hybridization. Yes. Calculate, find out what is the hybridization. NiCN4. First write electronic configuration of nickel. Z is equal to 28 atomic number. Configuration argon 18, 4s2, 3d8. So oxidation state of nickel is +2. So here Z number is not changes. We are writing still 28 only, but number of electrons we are decreasing 0 here. 4 is 0. First write 3d8. Argon 18. 3d8. 4 is 0. So as orbital, no electrons. Now fill the electrons. No, right again here 3d8. 4s0. 4p0. So 3d8, 8 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And what about Cn minus? Is it a negative strong field ligand or weak field ligand? Strong field ligand. Cn minus is strong field ligand. So electron pairing takes place. So again, write electronic configuration. This become here electron pair up takes place. 2, 3, 4 pairs. 8 electrons, no 4 pairs possible. And one is empty. And here s orbital, 1 box. 4p orbitals, here we have 3 boxes. See, in nickel tetracyanide, we have 4 ligands. 4 cyanide ligands are there. We need only 4 empty boxes. 1 box from D, 1 box from S, 2 boxes from p orbital. So just keep this as a cross marks. So DsP2 hybridization is DsP2. DsP2 shape square planar. So here there is no single electrons in the orbital, all are paired up. So it is diamagnetic. So your question is, explain with square planar because of its hybridization is D2sp2 hybridization, NiCN4, it having a square planar structure and it is diamagnetic. So we can explain why it is diamagnetic. Due to Cn minus ion is a strong field ligand, all the electrons in the d orbitals are paired. So there is no unpaired electron, means there is no single electrons. That's what it is, diamagnetic. So you can further calculate for NiCl4 2 minus same way, but here ligand is weak field ligand. Try what will comes hybridization.
sp3.
Very good, sp3 hybridization, same way. However here, but here d orbital is not available. All single electrons are available, and hybridization is sp3. So here keep cross marks only, sp3 cross mark. Write this hybridization shape and magnetic property.
Sir, it is necessary to write again the electron configuration.
Must, yes.
Sir, how many marks
Here,
question is it?
here 2 times you have to write, and here filling of orbital also. First time you have to write. First time normal filling. After that, you have to set ligand is weak field or strong field. Then again you have to write. So these cross marks are you are showing with arrow mark and ligand. That is represents what is the hybridization.
So how many marks question is it?
This is mostly asking for 2 or 3 marks.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, Dhanush want to come in.
Oh yes, I read.
Okay, sir.
Next one. Explain CONH36 3 plus is an inner orbital complex. Is an inner orbital complex, whereas NiNH36 2 plus is an outer orbital complex.
Sir,
Yes. Hello.
sir, what is that? Is an
Hello.
sir, for me the screen is blurred, sir. Can you read?
Explain CONH36 3 plus is an inner orbital complex.
Okay, sir.
Is an inner orbital complex, whereas NiNH36 2 plus is an outer orbital complex. So first try this also, right? Electronic configuration, then calculate hybridization. What is the hybridization of CONH36?
D2sp3.
D2sp3. Yeah, correct. Configuration, argon 18, 4s2, 3d7. Oxidation state of cobalt. How much, Dhanush? 3 cobalt having 3 oxidation states. So Z value is same 27. Argon 18, just we need to remove 3 electrons, 2 electrons from 4s orbital and 1 electron from 3d. After removing 3d, it becomes 3d6. This is 4s0. Now fill the orbitals. So here electrons are paired. 4s0. Take 4p0. But ammonia is a strong field ligand. NH3 is strong field ligand. That's what electron pairing takes place. We have 6 electrons, so we can get 3 pairs. 3d6. Sorry, here no electron pair, no. 3 are paired. 2 are empty. This 4s0, 4p0. In the complex, 6 ligands are there. So we need 6 empty boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So hybridization is D2sp3. No single electron, so it is a diamagnetic. So hybridization is D2sp3, no? So that's what we are calling it is a inner orbital complex. So first comes D, that is called inner orbital. Suppose D2 comes end, that is we are calling outer orbital complex. Calculate a hybridization of this one. Ni NH36. What is hybridization of? What is hybridization of this one? NH362 plus. Anirudh?
Sir, will it be D2sp2?
No, wrong. Yes. Hello? Tejashwini,
Sir,
what is hybridization of complex?
is it sp3d2?
sp3d2, correct. Ligita,
Yes, sir.
it is solved that one, NiCH36.
Yes, sir, but I didn't get sp3d2.
Sir, I got DSP3, sir.
Yes, sir, again I got dsp3d.
DSP3D. How you got 2 times D?
Sir, this NH3 is strong field again, no, sir?
Yeah, NH3 is strong field ligand.
So, NH3 is again, we need 6 boxes, no, sir, again. So, you'll
Correct.
have 1D and 1S, then 3 Ps, again 1 more 4D, that box is there, sir.
I think while writing electronic configuration, I think so you did mistake. Nickel. Okay. S orbital electrons are lost. D orbital having fully filled. Z is equal to 28. (18) 4s2 38. NiNH362 plus, yeah. Ni2 plus configuration is
Sir, not D2, I got only D.
D only. Okay. 4s, so 3D8, 4s0. Hello. 4s0 is empty box. 4p0, 3 empty boxes. If it undergoes electron pair up, so it gives DSP3D. That is not accepted. Any one kind of should involve either 3D or 4D. Any one kind of d orbital we have to take. Should not take mixed orbitals, 3D, 4D, because their energy gap is too much. Maybe it is exception. Yeah, just a minute. Okay. See, actually, in presence of ammonia, strong field ligand, here electron pair up must have to take place. But suppose electron is pair up takes place here, 3d orbital. From this 3d orbital, we are getting one box, and here one box, here three boxes, and again we have to take 4d orbital. Okay, this 3d orbital, 4s orbital, 4p orbital, almost this all having somewhat equal energies. So these all orbitals are involving in hybridization. It gives D2sp3. That is one choice. Otherwise, we have to take 4s, 4p, 4d orbital. That is also one chance. So in this case, of course, ammonia is, although strong field ligand, electron pairing is not takes place. Suppose if it takes place, here two different kind of d orbitals should involve in hybridization process. That's what here electron pair up not takes place.
So, so what statement should we write?
So right, in this case, although NH3 is strong field ligand, pair up of electrons not takes place. So 4d orbitals involves in hybridization. So now hybridization, you have to consider 4s, 4p, 4d. 4s, 4p, 4d. We need 6 boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So hybridization is sp3d2. It is outer orbital complex. And paramagnetic. So here unpaired electrons are there, 2 unpaired
So
electrons.
complex is paramagnetic.
Complex is paramagnetic. So during the hybridization process, either we take 3d orbital or 4d orbital. Mixed one you don't take. Here 1d orbital and that side also 1d orbital. Don't take like that. Okay. So this is about hybridization. Okay, now we'll see about limitations of valency bond theory. Okay, see, valency bond theory is able to explain the formation of a bond between metal and ligand. So here is accessed, and also while explaining the magnetic property, whether the substance is paramagnetic or diamagnetic, it was correctly explained, and also mainly shape of molecule. So during the explanation of shape of molecule also it is okay, but here limitations are here how is differentiated, meaning how is segregated. Some ligands are strong field ligand and some ligands are weak field ligand. So there it was mainly failure, and then it was failed during the explanation of color of complexes. So coordination compound, this complex compound having colors. So he was failed in explanation of colors of the coordination compounds, and also stability of a complex. Actually, stability of a complex is depends upon kinetic and kinetic theory and thermodynamical interpretation. So he did not discuss anything about the stability of the complex compounds. So these are only limitations. Right. VBT explains the formation, structure, and magnetic behavior of coordination compounds. Magnetic behavior of coordination compound. It suffer from the following shortcomings. From the following shortcomings. The first point here, it involves a number of assumptions. Next, it does not give quantitative interpretation of magnetic data. It does not explain the color exhibited by coordination compounds. The color exhibited by coordination compounds. It does not distinguish between weak and strong field ligand. Okay, next, crystal field theory.
So,
Yes.
so what do you mean by quantitative interpretation of magnetic data?
See, suppose some compound having unpaired electron, it is showing paramagnetic behavior. Is it okay? But how much exactly it is showing a magnetic property? That was not explained by VBT
So
theory. Yeah.
for that we calculate magnetic momentum.
Yeah, that is not actually by VBT theory. That is not by VBT. That is calculated based on a molecular orbital theory, MOT. See, totally to explain this bonding between the ligands and metal, structure, magnetic behavior, and the strong field and the weak field ligand concept. Totally, we have 4 theories. We have one is VBT theory, CFT, crystal field theory, ligand field theory, and MOT. So VBT just it is talking about hybridization concept. Only hybridization it can explain, and somewhat what is the shape, tetrahedral or square planar. That is okay. It can explain VBT, and the ligand is strong field ligand or weak field ligand is confirmed by CFT theory. And ligand field theory is out of syllabus. It comes in higher standards. And MOT it is talking about how the chemical bond is formed, and also it can explain magnetic behavior. This is not able to explain VBT, magnetic behavior. Okay. Let's see about crystal field theory. So I will explain. You read from our study material. Major points I will explain. Carefully listen. So according to crystal field theory, the interaction between the metal and ligand is considered as an electrostatic force.
So can you repeat that again, sir? Between
listen.
what, sir?
Interaction between central metal atom and ligands. Metal atom or ion and ligand is electrostatic force. So electrostatic force of attraction, nothing but we are calling ionic bond it is. So the interaction between metal and ligand is just an ionic bond. And also here it is assumed or considered as a the negatively charged ligands are there. Suppose Cl minus, Br minus, Cn minus, and those negatively charged ligands are considered as a point charges. Point charges. And some ligands are there like ammonia, we are calling neutral ligands, ammonia, water, and ethylene diamine. Those ligands are considered as a dipolar ions. Dipolar molecules.
So should we write these points?
Your wish. Otherwise, read from the study material. I'm telling you about major important points what you need to write in examination about crystal field theory. First point is according to crystal field theory, interaction between a metal atom and ion is metal atom and ligand is electrostatic force, nothing but ionic bond. And the negative ligands are considered as a point charges, and neutral molecules are considered as a dipolar molecules. Next, in the metal atom, when a metal atom is not attacked by any ligands, those electrons are present in the orbitals having same energy. We are calling those degenerate orbitals. So orbitals of metal are degenerate orbitals. And having symmetry. So that means we are seeing the mainly d orbitals only, because transition elements only forming complexes, those d orbitals having equal energy. So whenever orbitals having equal energy, those orbitals we are calling degenerate orbitals. And also those are symmetrical. So I will show diagram. Suppose this is the metal nucleus. So orbital means in orbitals electrons are present, That all orbitals have equal energy means the electron density distribution also is in equal. This is. That's what I wrote the word. It is a symmetric, degenerate and symmetric. Okay, now this metal atom or ion is attacked by the ligands. Whenever these ligands are going to be attack this central metal atom, this degeneracy of an metal atom is lifted, means it is going to excited state. I think you can see in our textbooks if you have. See here I'm explaining octahedral splitting. Here 5 lines are given. Yes. These 5 lines having same energy. These are called degenerate orbitals. So whenever ligands are going to be attacked, this energy means it is going to higher energy level. I mean excited state. This is just we are calling
So
the
page
degeneracy
number?
of an orbital is this is a old book. You see in the crystal field splitting, their octahedral splitting. Here degeneracy of an orbital is lifted. And then whenever these ligands are coming very closer to this metal ion or metal atom, and this orbitals loses its degeneracy, means it loses its symmetry also. So in d orbital we have 5 boxes, right? Now the orbital names are dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square, y square, and last orbital is dz square. These are the 5 orbitals. So these 5 orbitals having equal energy when the ligands are not attacked the central metal atom. That's what we are calling equal energy, degenerate orbitals and having symmetry. Whenever ligands attacks these orbitals, some of the orbitals energy becomes decreases, some orbitals energy becomes increases. So overall here we can say it loses its symmetry and it loses its degeneracy also. Means orbitals now having different energies. So whenever these ligands are attacked the central metal atom, those are 5 orbitals are 2 orbitals are moving upside, 3 orbitals are coming down. Out of 5, 3 orbitals comes down, 2 orbitals are going upside. These 2 orbitals gets higher energy, 3 orbitals gets loses energy. That's what these are low. These are dxy, dyz, dzx. These orbitals comes down and dx square, y square, dz square orbitals are moving up. Here some energy difference is also given. So this energy difference is given 3/5 delta 0. Delta 0 here, delta 0 means O it is. This refers octahedral splitting energy. This energy is lowered by 2/5 delta O. These 3 orbitals we are calling T2z. This set is we are calling EZ. Upper set is we are giving EZ orbital, low energetic orbitals we are calling T2z orbitals. Here why EZ orbitals are moving upside, why T2z orbitals are comes down? It is because of its orientation. I think you have idea about d orbital shapes. This is dxy. Means if this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is dxy. dyz also having the same shape. dyz, dzx, all having the same shape. But here axis changes. Dyz means here y and z will comes. Dzx here z and here x. So all dxy, dyz, dzx having the same orbital shape. Here lobes are in between the axis in case of dxy, dyz and dzx. And dx square y square is lobes of orbital are on the axis. This is dx square y square. dz square orbital is lobe on the z axis. So just once imagine this, all dxy, dyz, dzx, all these three orbitals, and dx square, y square, dz square, all these 5 orbitals are in one 3D geometry. Medges, I mean, all orbitals are present here only, and dz square orbital also. So that is this kind of axis. So imagination is somewhat difficult, but however, here dx square, y square, dz square orbitals are on the along the axis. So incoming ligands also attack along the axis. That's what they get more repulsion. So these orbitals have either electrons are there or not there. Those orbitals on the axis, and the incoming ligands also. This is a central metal atom. Ligands are attacking along the axis. So along the axis, dx square, y square, dz square orbitals are there in the central metal atom. That's what these orbitals gets more repulsion than dxy, dy, dzx. These orbitals in between the axis, that's what this gets normal, less repulsions. This gets more repulsion. That's what, due to more repulsions, dx square, y square, dz square is going higher energy level. These are comes down. So this point is mostly asking in competitives why dx square, y square, dz square orbitals in the octahedral splitting gets more energy. These T2G set of orbitals are getting low energy, means because of dx square, y square, dz square, these two orbitals present along the axis of the metal atom. The incoming ligand also attacks along the axis only. So ligand, electron means negatively charged species, orbital also negatively charged species. Between that much repulsions are exist. Due to more repulsions, dx square, dz square orbitals are going higher energy level, means they get more energy. Okay, this is about octahedral splitting. Here mostly asking in board purpose, this diagram are asking. Octahedral splitting diagram. And what is the octahedral splitting? So octahedral splitting definition is the splitting of the degenerate orbitals due to the presence of ligands in the definite geometry is termed as, okay, that is a crystal field splitting. In case of octahedral splitting, the 6 ligands whenever attack the central metal atoms, the degeneracy of the orbital is loses, and T2G set orbitals gains much energy, EG set orbitals loses energy. It's called octahedral splitting. In case of tetrahedral splitting, we are calling reverse.
Sir, can you explain degenerated orbital? What is degenerated orbital?
Orbitals which have same energy, that's called degenerate orbitals. Orbitals which have same energy, that's degenerate orbitals. Whenever atom, any metal atom is not attacked by any ligands, that is degenerate and symmetric. Whenever ligands attack, it loses its symmetry or degeneracy. That's we are calling splitting, crystal field splitting. Okay, here mostly asking is diagram, and in
So
which
now
case,
you will give notes, or we should copy down this diagram, sir?
Diagram, I think if you have, well, I will check in material. If there, you read from material. Yeah, it's there in. It's there in material. You can read from material.
Okay.
Yeah, their energy is also given. They are 0.6. There, here I wrote 3 by 5. No, yeah, this is 0.6. This is 0.4. These orbitals are gains 0.6 energy higher. These loses 0.4 energy. Read the both diagrams, octahedral splitting and tetrahedral splitting diagrams. Learn from material only. Here you have to see how to confirm the ligand is a strong field ligand or weak field ligand. So here delta O is octahedral splitting energy.
So when will you give us the notes for this chapter?
No, read from study material.
Okay, sir.
And P is equal to pairing energy. That is very important for competitive also. Suppose delta 0, suppose I'm telling any ligand is attacked the central metal atom, splitting of orbital is taken place, orbital splitting occurred. So suppose that splitting is more than pairing energy, then what happens? Splitting is more than pairing energy. So that means, so here orbitals are there, no? Here T2G set orbital and EG set orbitals, gap is now very much higher. Here T2G set, okay, I will run, take the orbitals. Here EG set. So generally, we are filling the electrons in the orbital. Here is the first electron, second electron. So always orbitals, sorry, always electrons going into lower energetic orbital. Okay, first electron, second, third electron is fine. Then where it goes? Fourth electron, D4 electron. Up to D3, okay. D4 electron, where it goes? Is it goes higher energy level or going into T2G only? That is confirmed by this value. Here, splitting energy is the more than pairing energy. So splitting energy is more. Gap is very much high. Now the fourth electron is unable to go higher energy level, easy level. That's what fourth electron is also coming into T2G set only. Fifth electron also coming. Sixth electrons also comes in T2G set only because of more energy gap. Electron can't jump from here to here. So we don't think about the fifth electron and the sixth electron. Most talking about fourth electron only. The D4 electron is going into T2G set only when delta 0 greater than P, pairing energy. Now tell me, what is the ligand? Strong field ligand or weak field ligand? Almost I gave clue. Fine, it is strong field or weak field? Strong field ligand, because here electron is paired, no? Electron pairing takes place here. So if delta 0 greater than P, strong field ligand. Suppose splitting energy is lower than pairing energy. So in this case, very small, little splitting energy. Energy is low. What about D4 electron? First electron is normally moving here, second also, third also. D4th electron. Here, energy gap is very low. That's what the fourth electron easily can move to easy level. Fifth electron also can move to easy level. Then further, sixth electron is coming for pair up. So in this case, ligand is weak field ligand. Here, high spin complex, or we are talking about a low spin complex. So where we are getting high spin complex? In which case high spin complex is possible?
So in the second case.
In second case. So here weak field ligand, no, electrons are not pairing. So single electrons are there. It gives maximum amount of spin. If you substitute in the formula, root of n into n plus 2, here you get some bigger mu value. So in this case,
So
we are calling high
magnetic
spin complex.
momentum is spin. Magnetic moment is about spin, sir.
Yeah, high spin complex. If you are adding the spin here, plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, we are adding, no?
Yes, sir.
But it gives maximum spin.
No,
Okay,
sir,
maximum spin and magnetic momentum both are Same results only it gives.
Okay. Yes.
In case of strong field ligand, it gives low spin complex. Yeah, this is only about octahedral splitting. And here spectrochemical series already given in your notebook. Actually, that series spectrochemical series is given based on this splitting only, crystal field splitting.
So can you repeat what you said now? Because of internet issue, I was unable to hear.
About octahedral splitting or full or these points only?
Just the last point which you said.
No, I didn't say this is only last point. Now see about tetrahedral splitting. This is a reverse of the diagram. I will draw diagram here. These are 5 d orbitals, no? D orbitals, free ion. So whenever ligands are going to attack, these are lifted too. So degenerate orbitals are lifted. So average energy of the d orbitals, this is. In spherical crystal field. So whenever ligands are attacked, so now you can see dxy, dyz, dzx are going upside. We are giving just a name is a T2, not T2g. Don't write T2g. This is a dxy, dyz, dzx. This is just T2 only. Don't write E. T2. Here only 2 orbitals. Dx square y square and dz square orbital. This is E set. Energy is the energy gap between this. It is delta T. Previously I gave delta O, that is the octahedral splitting energy. Delta O, delta T refers tetrahedral splitting energy. This is 2 by 5 times bigger. 2 by 5 means 0.4. Right, 0.4 delta T. This is a 0.6 times lower. This is the splitting of orbitals in tetrahedral crystal field.
So why this happen? Like why it is reverse?
So orbitals having electron density, right?
Yes, sir.
Orbitals have electron density, and ligands. All ligands are coming with electron pair, no?
Yes,
That may be negatively charged ion or neutral molecule. Those are coming with electron pair. There also electron density is there. Then repulsions happen. So in between electron and electron. Due to that repulsion only splitting takes place.
Sir, my question was why it is opposite to that of the previous one.
Okay, that's I will explain. So here one relation is there between tetrahedral splitting energy and octahedral splitting energy. Delta T is equal to 4 by 9. Important this formula. 4 by 9 delta O. So actually octahedral splitting is higher than tetrahedral splitting. That is the relation. Delta T is equal to 4 by 9 delta O. Here the complex is here either we're calling tetrahedral complex. Ligands are attacking in between the axis. This is a metal nucleus. This is here. Just imagine all the axes are there: dxy, dyz, dzx. All three axes are there, and also dx square, y square, dz square orbitals also there. All kind of axes are there. Now ligands are coming from in between the axis. So now it attacking in tetrahedral complexes. Ligands
Sir,
are
can you
attacking
tell what is
in between
delta
the
naught again, sir? The delta naught. So what is it?
This is a delta O. This is a octahedral splitting energy. This is a tetrahedral splitting energy. Relation between both 4/9 delta O. So always delta O is bigger than delta T. Sometimes asking, giving tetrahedral splitting energy, calculate octahedral splitting energy. That is their formula. So we are talking about tetrahedral splitting. It's central metal atom. It having all the 5 d orbitals: dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square, y square, dz square. But in this case, in tetrahedral splitting, ligands are attacking in between the axis. In between the axis, which orbitals are there? In between the axis.
dxy,
dxy, dyz, dzx only. So these are orbitals only. So here ligand is attacking. Repulsions more happens. That's what they are lifted to higher energy level.
So in octahedral, legends attack on
the
axis, and in tetrahedral it attacks on like
in between the axis.
In between the axis.
Yes. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So mostly in the examination point they are asking this only. Diagrams are asking, and rare cases energies. What is the spectrochemical series? Already you written that one. What is spectrochemical series? And pairing energy, delta O, this relation. Mostly questions are asking related to this only. And full theory they are not asking. Very rare cases asking about the full theory of crystal field splitting. So you just write 4 or 5 points, 5 assumptions you write and give the diagram. Lastly note down these 2 points. That is enough for 3 marks. So here applications are there, many applications based on this. Color of the complexes and wavelength. That's very important. Wait, I will check set some MCQ questions based on this. Okay. The question is, just listen, no need to write. You can do in assignments this question later. Question is, what will be the correct order for the wavelength of absorption in the visible region for the following? What will be the correct order for the wavelength of absorption in the visible region for the following? The following complexes are NiNO2 6 4 minus NiNH3 6 2 plus NiH2O 6 2 plus. These are the complexes. Here we have to arrange correct order for the wavelength of absorption in the visible region for the following. Wavelength, we can arrange those increasing order or decreasing order. That's our choice. Okay, here how to find its wavelength. No need to calculate what is the value. Just which one having higher, which one having lower, we have to identify. See, energy directly proportional to frequency. So energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. Energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. So here wavelength we can't calculate directly. Just we can calculate only energy, not full value. Which one having higher energy we can calculate. So which is strong field ligand here? We have NO2, NH3, H2O. Once you see spectrochemical series, in the spectrochemical series, which one having a higher field strength? Find out that. Which one is a stronger ligand?
So NH3.
NH3. NO2 is not given here. Okay. In the spectrochemical series, NO2 is not given. Actually, NO2 having more field strength. That means it is a strong field ligand. Compared to NH3, NO2 is a strong field ligand. Here not given. So you write that one, NO2.
The NO2 is stronger than diamine.
Than ethylene diamine. More stronger than ethylene diamine.
Even CN.
CN. NO2. Yeah. Compared to CO, NO2 minus is only stronger ligand.
So NO2 is
strong,
the
more strong field ligand. NO2. So now we'll arrange its field strength. Field strength is least is H2O having least. Ammonia then highest is NO2. Okay, careful, see now. This is strong field ligand, very strong field ligand. That's what here energy gap is very much high. Okay, next NH3 gap. So O2 H2O is weak field ligand. This is only energy gap is less here. So here energy gap is very high. So already I gave the relation. Energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. Then where we can observe higher wavelength? Here is the higher energy gap. High energy means lower the wavelength comes. Here, okay. Here lower the energy. So higher wavelength we are observing in this complex. NiH2O6 greater than NiNH3.
Absorption is
what?
Wavelength of absorption. So for absorption, how do we find out?
Energy, we are taking energy and wavelength relation by this relation. See, first we are writing the complex. Which one is strong field ligand? We are identifying. This is very strong field ligand, NO2. That's what high energy gap. Then is nitrogen, sorry, NH3. Then least is water. This is only energy gap. So lower the energy, higher the wavelength. So wavelength.
These wavelengths are the absorption wavelength.
Yes, 1 minute. Wavelength of order for the wavelength absorption in the visible region. Yeah, this is only.
So can we even calculate wavelength?
If they give some values, then we can calculate what is wavelength. Yes, thank you. In Monday class, we will see about isomerism. Isomerism also important for competitive. I think this year from CBSE syllabus, it is a remote, but very important for competitive. Only two concepts are left. This one and carbonyl compounds and stability. We can complete in 1 or 2 classes this chapter. You know, guys, you have tomorrow physics exam. Sir forgot to inform you. I don't know about timings. Once you ask to Harsh, sir. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.